Greetings, programs. Welcome back to CK2, and this is not that long since the last episode, but I thought with the kind of, well, not quite cliffhanger, but the situation we left off the last episode in, that it would be nice to resolve that sooner rather than later. So before we actually do have a look at the ongoing events, we'll have a quick poke around Europe, and there's not that much that's different, but actually Castile seems to have stopped fragmenting so much. It's pulled itself together a bit. And we're left with an interesting three-way split on the Iberian Peninsula. And, well, technically a five-way split, because Navarra's still got its three provinces, and there's also this extremely minor emirate down here as well. But, yeah, otherwise things are not looking that dissimilar. There's a bit of fragmentation going on over here in the Persian lands. As you can see, the Seljuks are still, there, but there seems to be some kind of major civil war, or wars even, going on at the moment. So that's a bit, well, it's a bit unfortunate for them, but it doesn't really bother me at all. And once again, we've also got Carpathia and Hungary being entirely separate, and that appears to be another civil war. Yes, that's a Crown Authority civil war, so there's no danger of Carpathia disappearing. So, the situation at hand is I went to war in Finland and it didn't go entirely according to plan. Who'd have thought that would happen? Now, I did bring some extra forces over and I'm reinforcing them, so that's fine, but that's not enough to attack this province here. And it didn't help that the attack went over into winter, basically. And if I go onto the terrain map, we'll see that it's, it doesn't say at the moment, but it'll be a province that's more affected by winter than other provinces, and that means that your attrition levels are higher. So you don't want to be fighting in these kind of areas in winter. It's just not a good idea. Now, one thing that somebody did bring up after a previous episode was, when I was talking about the cost of raising ships, is why don't I just raise the ships of my vassals? And actually that's an extremely good point, because the costs are then passed off onto them. Now the downside is it's a little harder to get the ships, the numbers of ships that I need, but what I'm going to do is, I mean, my retinues are over there. What retinues have survived? I'm going to raise what forces I have available, and possibly some of my levy forces as well, because yeah, the new king, King Richard, not particularly competent, unfortunately, so that's not great. But if I bring together those forces, and if I see what vassal forces I can muster, now, the Duchy of Lothian has got 1,000, so that's fine. And who else? Duchy of Albany will take his 1,200 as well, and that between them should be a good couple of thousand troops, and I've already got nearly 3,000 troops there already. So it then becomes a matter of raising the boats. Now this, of course, as with raising any vassal levy, will decrease their opinion of you the longer you have them raised, but you don't get the cost in the same way. So we'll have a look-see. Apparently it doesn't tell you. Huh, I was kind of hoping it would. And oh, come on now. Oh, come on now, Caption Guy. Just, I mean, you can't see it, but I am shaking my fist at the screen so hard right now. Well, this is deeply unwelcome timing. Okay then. Okay, this slightly complicates matters, to say the least. Right, so basically we want to get this war over and done with as quickly as possible, and this basically also necessitates raising all of my vassal levies, so let's do that ASAP. Right, so we want, you can't raise vassal levy ships directly, which is always slightly annoying, but we'll want to raise some of the fleet levies at least. Now, if we can get the levies of, this is the Duke of Dehubarth, so that is, there we go, raise your ships. We'll immediately get those troops out there so they're not just sitting in the wrong place. And I think we'll still try and send some troops over there, and then we'll basically have a kind of a holding action. So they're going to war over Cumberland, basically. And that's a de jure claim. That's always a risk with me holding those territories, is that they'll just then decide that they want some of that. Therefore, they are going to take that. That's a bit of a problem for me. So, yes. But hopefully I will have enough to at least forestall them for the time being. We'll also raise the boats of Galloway. And this is one of the big advantages of having a vassal merchant republic, is that they will have a lot of boats. 37. Oh, that's not as many as I was hoping, but it should be enough for the army that I've put together. And actually what I'll do is I'll send that 1,500 men off, and 4,500 should be enough, and then the remaining troops we'll consolidate them in Carrick, which is fairly close to the border. And we'll also quickly check... he's not brought anyone else in, but he does have allies, but they mostly seem to be vassal allies, so he's not going to be bringing in any other kings. Well, this immediately got more interesting than I thought it would. I was hoping to make this a reasonably quick episode, although with Crusader Kings you never quite know. But we shall see. We might need to end this episode whilst still being at war as well. That might just be how we need to actually do this. So we'll actually march all those troops in there. We can disband those boats. We don't need them. And even if we don't have enough forces to immediately thrash the pants off these guys, it should be enough to at least give them pause for thought, I hope. We've also got enough troops down here that the Finnish forces will think twice about just walking into that county. But at the moment we're sitting on negative war score because, well, they beat us in battle and we don't have the actual war goal. So that's going to count against us for the time being. But hopefully we can turn that around fairly quickly. So that's already 4,000 plus troops. We're probably going to have something like, what, 6,500 at our disposal. Plus the 3,500, 4,500 that we'll have there. And it will be closer to 4,500, won't it? And as you can see, the retinues are actually reinforcing while we're on friendly territory as well. So that's quite useful. So we actually want some good leaders for that army. It's just a trade post siege. That is utterly unimportant. It temporarily puts our merchant republic in not a great way, but anyway, it's fine. We'll also just quickly check. We still just about have a positive balance money-wise, so that's fine. So if we click on diplomatic relations, we can see we don't have any immediate people around us that we need to worry about. But now that we're getting into May, I think we're safe to march up there and start sieging our war goal again, basically. And as that's the primary province that we want to take, and as they only have the one province, that will give me a big chunk of war score. And at that point, we might need to start fighting people, but we'll see. So, they have more troops. So what I want to do really is pick my ground. I want to get them to fight me somewhere where they are going to have to cross a river, or they're going to be fighting on hills or something like that. So unfortunately it doesn't quite make it. Yeah, Clydesdale might be the best one. It'd be easier if you could see, I mean, you can mouse over and see the connections, but it'd be nice if it then flashed up on the map as well, so you could actually see which of the surrounding ones have the river crossing. So Teviotdale, Argyll, Galloway and Carrick, and Teviotdale itself has a crossing. It does to Northumberland, but not to Cumberland, so that's no good. Northumberland, Cumberland, Dunbar, and okay. And the terrain itself is plain, so I don't think it would have any particular advantage there. Now, one nice thing about being Scotland is you can always retreat to the Highlands, and they make that makes a very useful kind of defensive line. But in this case, I think, I mean, it's a big army, and if we could call some allies in, maybe, but I don't know if there's any we can call in. No, that's just the. Okay. We'll try our luck in Northumberland, because they will have to try a river crossing to attack us in Northumberland. But they've immediately started marching into Teviotdale, so actually no, we won't do that. But it has called them off their immediate goal of sieging Cumberland. So basically, yeah, we want to force a confrontation in somewhere that actually benefits us. So attacking the vassal retinues, that's fine. And talking of retinues, I could raise my own, but that would put me into because I've got, you know, spare retinue cap. I could immediately raise some, but there would be no use right away, and that would also cost me money while they're reinforcing to full strength. So we'll see how this goes. They have a pretty hefty minus set of modifiers there, between 10 and 15% across the board. In fact, between, well, the lowest is 5%, but that's only the archer. Archer's attack and defense. I don't know how much archers they actually have, but anyway. And we've actually got some those forces of the Duchy of Lothian just joined us as well. So yes, that flank's not doing so well. One thing I didn't do, and that was a bit of a major mistake, was I didn't also sort out the generals for this army. So that might be very costly. But this is, as you can see, in terms of overall morale, even though that flank is doing very badly, we're beating them. And the terrain bonuses or modifiers have a very big part to do with that. So we're losing some troops, but they're losing far more troops. Meanwhile, in the north, ooh, yeah, they've come at me with, well, not equal numbers, but let's see if we can't bring up this fight. And because I've walked into them this time, they actually get the advantage. But I've got extra troops, we might get away with it. And they've only got 2 flanks, as it were, so that actually means that this kind of centre flank is 2 versus 1, so that gives me an advantage as well. So we've won that other battle. Let's pause it again, and as you can see, they took a thorough bashing. Now, I could try and get into Carrick, but that then gives them the actual advantage. Whereas if I walk down into Galloway, no, also... oh, no, wait, no, I don't think they do. Yeah, so I could attack basically up into Carrick, and then that avoids any problem. Oh, but they've just brought up reinforcements. Okay, let's get those guys out of there. So this is the problem. They have more troops than I do at the moment, because my king is absolutely terrible at fighting. And they've also brought up reinforcements. We might be seeing our first major military setbacks. I mean, we've lost wars before. We might, having enjoyed a long period of instability in England, be facing a stronger England once again. So they've attacked once more into unfavourable conditions, but they do have a numbers advantage, and my guys hadn't gotten all their morale back, and I still haven't put the generals in, which is a bit bad, really, a bit bad. We might very well lose this fight. In fact, it looks like we are losing this fight. So I'll sort out generals just as soon as that fight's done. They also were able to bring in reinforcements, which is very bad for me. Maybe I should have gone and attacked one of these other places. So let's actually retreat my forces out of there. And they're actually now sieging, which is just not good at all. Oh dear, oh dear. My armies are just getting beaten all over the place. Okay then, so we'll put them back into Athol. Right, we need generals. We need actual people who know which bit of the sword is which, because apparently we didn't have them, and that can hurt you rather badly. So if I... it's going to cost me, but I've got time to regroup a bit. So if I get at least one group of retinues, maybe I don't know, just a plain old skirmish retinue, I guess, join them up in Athol, which or are we Stratharn? So if they attack from Stratharn, it's fine. It's also hilly terrain in Athol, so that will be a double bonus, but it depends where they attack from. Meanwhile, life goes on in other bits of Scotland, and we've got oh, she's Welsh apparently. She's also ill and quick. Hopefully she survives. Quick is a very nice trait to have, but ill on the other hand, yeah. God damn it, Finland, why couldn't you just... Why do you have to be so stubborn? Why couldn't you just, you know... Yeah. So I'm not quite sure, actually, why their troops are in... Are they at war with me? No. Ah, they're at war with other people, and they've just marched their troops onto my territory because it's convenient to do so. It's not that they're attacking or anything. So, yes. So this is a bit bad, really. I could actually do with consolidating forces a bit here. Now, can I actually raise any more? 26 and 395. And are those 395 going to pop up anywhere? I know, because they are from places where I've already got levies raised from, personal levies raised from. So that's no good. Okay. Can't hire any holy orders. Don't know even why I'm clicking on that tab. Mercenaries might be nice at this point, but I'm a little bit strapped for cash, so not really an option. So we'll actually we'll bring up ships. We know roughly how much we're going to get out of those two. Consolidate those. In fact, we only need... Well, actually, if I send both lots of ships, and then in theory we could bring back that entire army. But this network of alliances, even though it was only one province, there's just more people have been dragged in than I was hoping would be. So I'm going to bank on Scotland being big, because that's still 0%. That's minus 48%. We really need to try and turn this war around, or else... Well, we're going to lose. And that's not going to be good for my prestige, apparently. Or apparently? I don't know what word I meant to use there, but it wasn't apparently. But I said apparently anyway, because I like the word apparently. Apparently. Yes. Also, oh, that's what we want to see. Yes, absolutely. More civil wars. Yes, please. We want those civil wars. So, because England took advantage of me being at war to declare war on me, so too have the factions within even England taken advantage of that war to have a go themselves. So you have to be very wary. Wars generally, even if the war itself isn't immediately a problem, it can lead to other people taking advantage and trying to declare war at the same time. And whereas one war might be perfectly fine and containable, multiple wars can get very tricky indeed, as you might imagine. So once again, my forces are just battered, beaten, bloody and bruised, and the Finns are just... I don't even know. They've even brought the Estonians into it. I mean, I'm probably just completely screwed here, trying to take on the Finns and the Estonians at the same time. I mean, I'm just absolutely asking for trouble trying to do a thing like that. Wow, they're terrible. Okay, let's replace those really awful generals, including my king, who absolutely is an awful general. What personal ambition has he got? Improve intrigue. Yes, I did pick that, didn't I? Because it's even worse than his martial ability. He's terrible. He is absolutely just terrible. I mean, can we just take a moment to appreciate how terrible he is? I shouldn't be saying things like that. Caption Guy will be all over me. Well, not that I really need to give him excuses or openings or anything like that. Let's see. Castle infrastructure in Dublin has increased to 3. That's very nice. We have... a Monk Jedi that's just come of age, so we'll try and arrange a marriage for her. She's Bohemian. Well, that's one more that we can add to the list. How is she Bohemian? Was her mother Bohemian? Yes. A Bohemian Dukas. The Dukases are still around, and they are now Bohemian, apparently. Okay, okay. Right, we'll see if we can find any interesting people that might have the potential for alliances, but it doesn't look like it because she's probably from the fairly minor branch of the family. So we could marry her to a duke, and it would give 2 prestige. I don't know if that's really worth it. Her stats are not great though. She's got pretty good diplomacy, but the rest, I mean, her learning's not bad. But I mean, we could try and marry her within the court, I suppose. It's always slightly confused me that you can click on that thing, and that's kind of like the outside marriages, or you click on the diplomacy and you go arrange marriage and blah blah blah, and that's how you do inside the court. And it's always seemed a little bit clunky somehow, but there you go. Well, we've got some Welsh courtiers that are kind of hanging around doing nothing. His stats are terrible. We won't pick him. They're twins apparently. Yeah, he got the looks, but he got the brains, kind of. Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay. Anyway, so now we have more forces, except I'd have less forces overall because it's all been going so horribly wrong. Let's try maybe sieging Estonia. That might get me some war score. The main problem is they are able to bring more forces to bear than I was. I just totally underestimated how many forces were available. And I'm at the point where now my forces have taken a battering, so that yeah, I'm just in generally a much worse position. So that's not good. Actually, we'll keep the troops to the ships there just in case we need to actually immediately retreat. Also, lower crown authority. That's the last thing we need is a civil war. We might end up having to. We can call in. Oh, peasant revolt. Come on now. Okay, that could be another problem. Because he's got 2,400 troops. This is fun. Okay. Yeah. Right, anyway, we can call in the Knights of Santiago because my son has become the Grand Master. Normally you can't call in religious orders, but because he's my son, I can. And it's a maybe, so he might not necessarily. But I'm thinking... actually, if we call him into the Holy War, he's much more likely to actually join in on that. But I don't know how much forces he can actually bring to bear. We'll try that one. I think he's more likely to respond to a call of arms to a Holy War, because frankly, this is the one... I mean, it's less problematic if I lose it, but I don't want to lose it. And, oh, there we go. Okay, he has come to... and we could also still call him to war... Oh, Peasant Revolt for Dublin. Actually, we'll call him in on that as well. He might help me out. But I'm much less worried about England, just because England's got its own internal rumblings going on. And, okay, never mind. Well, I've got them in on one war. That's fine. Peasant Revolt, I don't know. That might be a problem. This has all suddenly gone wrong just because my king is naff, basically. And again, giving Caption Guy so many openings to work with here. Oh, I don't realise half the things I say. I mean, what was it? Was it the last episode or the episode before about... I think it was the last episode. Getting married to fill holes. I mean, I didn't even have... It just didn't cross my mind what I was saying. It just didn't. So, at least somebody somewhere was having fun with that. Anyway, we might get hordes of angry Estonians and Finns marching down, but because I've got this group of ships, actually, that has the benefit that if they do, I'll have a little bit of warning about it. So I'll actually speed things up slightly, but not too much. And they're actually sieging... Yeah, well, it's the wrong province so far. They're not going to get that much war score out of it. But yeah, this is not proving to be the best point in Scotland's history. But worst case scenario, I don't get one of these provinces and I lose that province, which I actually will have a claim on because I've now got the Duchy of Northumberland. So I'm gonna, even if I lose Cumberland again, and this has been one of those back and forth provinces, but even if I lose it, it's fine because I have the title at least for a while. Although he could, if he had both of those out of all three of them, then usurp it from me. So that kind of depends on how much cash he's got. So yeah, it's kind of fine. Kinda. I might end up having to go back to a situation where I actually have to fabricate a claim, at which point, well, we all know how long that can take, but yeah, hopefully it won't come to that. Hopefully. So these troop numbers will be slowly going up because I've got my a couple of retinues in there, but as you can see, 4,000 out of 14,000, they are badly beaten down, this army. So yes, Scotland's military might is definitely not where it could be. In fact, we'll speed things up once more as well. Now, I'm not actually sure what happens if the peasants actually take Dublin. I've never actually been in that situation, to be honest, so that will be educational if it happens, I suppose. But my thought here is that maybe I can claw back some war score, but as you can see, this is bad. Oh, good! Oh, good, that's what we wanted. This is the Petty King of Gwynedd, who has decided to... Okay then, everybody's just piling on. Sure, why not? Let's declare war on France while we're at it, which actually has now become France. Or has it? No, it's still Aquitaine. I saw the NE and then I thought, oh, it's France, but it's not. It's France. It's not France. Well, it's France, but it's not France. I'm tying myself in knots here. Shut up, caption guy. Shut up. Shut up. Just shut up. Let's read the message. Anyway, the Teutonic Order. The Order of Brothers of the German House of St. Mary in Jerusalem has been formed, sponsored by the Catholic Church, that's a name and a half, and the Holy Roman Emperor. The Teutonic Order, much like the Knights of St. John and the Knights Templar, primarily protect and care for pilgrims to the Holy Land, but will serve any Catholic ruler willing to pay for their upkeep. Being a religious order, they will only fight against heretics and infidels. So basically a new religious order popping up. So... yeah, this is all just not going well. Okay, you know what? I think we're going to write off Finland for now. We're going to write off that war. I need to get my troops back. Right, we'll take care of the peasants first. And then we'll take care of Wales. And then, I don't even know, we'll probably lose Cumberland. But that can't particularly be helped if it comes to that. So, yeah, so much for taking Poyanmar. I thought... this episode would easily be able to, we'd just have a cozy little war, and instead, this game is just wicked and evil sometimes. Right, oh, they've actually been given, oh, okay, there, they've been given a county there. That is interesting, because, as you can see, they are surrounded by... Suamensko provinces. So, yes, that is somewhat unusual. And there are the Knights of Santiago. And of course, that's the war I called them in to. And they actually have got a fairly sizable contingent. Maybe they'll keep fighting away on their own. I don't know. That would be not terrible in that case. So we've got one army. Actually, are these the best? Yeah, these are the best generals I can have. Right, let's... go and knock some peasant heads together and get at least one of these things off here, because yeah, this is oh, for goodness sake, just everybody stop being so rebellious and just stop, just leave me alone. Just because I was trying to bully a a single Finnish province that I thought couldn't possibly defend itself. Everybody started picking on me. You're all so mean. I would never do a thing like that. Sorry, bit of a thing in my throat there. Yeah. Right, there we go. So, he's in my provinces. In my jail. Normally, I'm not too vindictive. Normally, I just banish them. But, you know what? Off with his head. He's annoyed me at the wrong time. God damn it. Next up, the Welsh. The rebellious Welsh. Well, not really rebellious, actually. It's the other duke that's decided that this bit of land should be his, and I don't agree with that, clearly. Now, actually, before I march in there, well, actually, they've gone back to deal with the civil war, which suits me just fine, but I'm a bit wary about them being so close. So if they march back into, we'll actually slow time down there. If they march in, oh yeah, no, that's not what we want. Okay. In fact, it's even quicker if I land the boats and get the troops off, or is it? No, okay, they're marching onto the boats, yes. 11th of October. And because they're in retreat, basically the English army can't touch them. So that didn't go quite according to plan. So let's actually get them up there and we'll lift the siege of, not the siege, we'll lift the occupation of Carrick. I think we might have to end this video with even more wars than we started. Frankly, it's been not a good video in terms of things going well for Scotland, but that will happen in this game. Sometimes it does not go well. Occasionally we'll have setbacks, so we can raise a few more vassal troops, but not many. There's no, okay, that's fine. There's no lonely five guys standing off down there in Finland. Scottish Finland, it's kind of, you know, a thing, kind of, technically at the moment. And this is only like 100 and odd extra troops, but that'll do. So, yeah, this could be going better. Let's see if we can see what the Knights of Santiago are doing. Or are they not doing anything at all? No, they're currently just marching through France. Aquitaine, whatever. Yes. Now, if only I could get the English troops to attack the Welsh troops somehow. That would be ideal, but sadly not. Right, so we'll speed it up a little bit again. I think we will wrap up this video fairly soon anyway. We're getting on for over half an hour now. Of mostly incompetent flailing and damage control. So, you know, that's been fun. You'd think I'd have been playing this long enough to remember to make sure that your armies have good generals, but apparently not. Yes. And after so carefully picking out the terrain that I wanted to fight on as well. Yes. I don't know. That usual mix of occasional competence followed up by blinding incompetence, I suppose. You know, I probably shouldn't say things like that. A caption guy's gaslighting is getting to me, clearly. All those little post-it notes he keeps leaving around the house that say, "You suck!" And he uses 3 exclamation marks, so I don't take it too seriously, because obviously multiple exclamation marks, as any reader of Terry Pratchett will know, are the sign of a deeply diseased mind, but yeah, still, after several hundred of them, you do find it getting to you slightly, I suppose. So we'll break this siege, and then I think we'll wrap the episode up there, because I don't think we're going to... she's also Welsh. I don't think we're going to be doing anything... particularly, I mean, this is just going to be one of those drawn out situations where I'm going to need a while to recover afterwards, I suppose. So we can click away all of those. Some of those are old messages. So yeah, the siege is going fairly well. That'll give me more war score, and I've actually got a fairly positive war score because they haven't taken Cumberland at all. Oh, we've got somebody who needs a guardian, and she wants to be the guardian, and I am going to go with that because her intrigue's not great, but honestly, I could use the extra opinion right now, because the last thing we want is a civil war, which may happen, and in fact it's her that may instigate it. So yes. Oh, she's the one that's married to the one that's the Knight of Santiago, and they're both McJedi's, but shh. Actually, that kind of thing happened all the time, you know, distant cousins of the same bits of the family marrying each other. And yeah, basically half the royalty of Europe is related if you go back through just Queen Victoria alone. It's a little bit ridiculous. So the sieges are going well. The English seem to be mainly concentrating on the civil war, which is good. In fact, it'd be nice to be able to see 53%. So that's probably not going to last too much longer, because he is winning that civil war quite decisively. But it's draining his own troops all the while, and it's diverting his attention. And he's having to lift sieges and suffering attrition and all that kind of thing. And oh, hello! Even more civil war, is that? Or is that somebody just joining? No, that is even more civil war. So that's nice. That is excellent. That is what I want. I want distraction. I want civil wars. We've almost lost this one, though. The Scottish Holy War for Finland. Yeah, which is a bit of a problem. Can I just offer peace? Offer white peace? Will they take that? Surrender loses me piety, prestige, and Catholicism loses 3% moral authority. It's not that much more piety or prestige, and we're gonna hit the point where they're able to force it anyway, so we'll just surrender. I'm not losing any territory, I'm not losing any money, so we'll just live with it, and that'll be one less war, and that will let me concentrate on... Oh, and they took a big chunk of cash. That will let me concentrate purely on what's happening back in the Isles. Oh, yeah, Thieves Guild is not good. So yeah, this is one of the things that can happen with... I mean, we're making money, and we will climb our way out of this. I don't think I need to take a loan, but it could cause some instability and problems in the meantime. And actually what we can do, I think there's a... where are we? Revolt risk, there we go. We can look at the revolt risk map and see that actually England looks fairly stable. Not England, Scotland looks fairly stable. Dublin is, as you can see, a slightly different colour, but we put down that revolt. York, meanwhile, yes, they look like they might... they've got actually 5% revolt risk, and that is directly under the King of England, King Cenwulf. So, yeah, they might actually have a peasant revolt to deal with as well. Although, as you saw from my own, peasant revolts generally can be put down fairly easily. Highway robbers, yay! So it's just going to be robbers and thieves guild all over the place, which is going to actually affect my income a little bit as well. Yeah, yep. There we go. Cumberland's also affected. There's just going to be thieves and robbers everywhere, unfortunately. So, my main problem with Wales is the fact that I can attack the Welsh troops, but that then makes me very vulnerable to being attacked by the English troops. And that's going to be a bit of a ticking war score. So I want to basically get more war score here as a buffer. And we're almost through this last bit of siege. So what I'll do is, having dismissed the ships, I will raise the ships again, but we'll raise them from somewhere different this time. An indulgent wastrel, that's just what... Yeah, oh wow, her stats are fairly terrible. Okay, we'll just marry her off to I don't even care who, to be honest. A Polish count. Whatever. We'll marry her off to a Polish count, we'll get her out of the court. Just some technology messages, there we go. So, I mean, we had a fairly good victory against the English, and we'll have gotten some war score from that. We also had one or two losses, but most of the war score is ticking war score from the fact that I still have Cumberland. And so having goaded them to fight further up north and then them deciding to siege Carrick has worked really well in my favour. So that's fine, But we now have negative ticking war score down in Wales, so I'm going to have to go and deal with that as my next order of business. But that's going to be for the next episode. So this has been very messy. Finland turned out to be a non-starter. They just sucked up a lot of my troops. Yeah, absolutely no real-life historical precedent for that at all. Just sending your forces into Finland and having them decimated. But otherwise, I think I've managed to stabilise things a bit. The English declaring war, yeah, well, I think we can cope with it. The civil wars they're having, very, very useful. And the Welsh are just being annoying on top of that because it means taking my forces very close to the English forces, and that might go quite badly indeed. But we'll see. That's for next episode. So, yes, I hope you've enjoyed this one. It was a little bit messy around the edges, but even so, if you did, you can leave any comments and suggestions below. You can hit the like button, you can subscribe to my channel, and as always, stay tuned for more.